Um, uh, Welcome to my first ever video on this channel. You might know me from my previous channel, The Ossified Note, which I may or may not have posted a video on about, hey, I have a new channel and I'm maybe not going to be posting stuff on that channel ever again, but maybe you came from a different spot. Then maybe you should check out that channel. Maybe I'll post some new stuff. But today, as the title of the video suggests, I am going to be discussing the top 25 Magic the Gathering cards that I know of. So, hope you enjoy the list of 25 that I definitely did not make in about 2 seconds. So, number 25 is Ancient Tomb. I put this in the slot of number 25 because when it's played, it allows you to cheat out things like Azusa, Lost but Seeking, as seen in Game Knight's Commander 21 custom decks, as used by Craig Blanchett. Uh, that's quite the introduction, but he was able to use it to cheat out Azusa, Lost but Seeking, a turn early, which really helps. So it can be used for things like that, and, well, just in general, it gives 2 mana. 2 mana for a land. Granted, it does deal 2 damage to you, but there's a whole bunch of cards in Magic's history that give you 2 life. Like, Savannah Sage enters the battlefield. Revitalize, you also draw a card and you gain 1 more life. It's a whole bunch of things that get you just 1 life. It's overall a really good card, but it's not even in the top 20. So the number 24 spot goes to the Blacker Lotus. Not quite as good as the Black Lotus, but the reason I put it here was because, I mean, 4 mana, it's a really good mana fixer, but, you do have to destroy the card, and it does cost quite a, not really a hefty price, it's only $35, but still, I guess that is kind of a hefty price for a literal one-use card. But it it's a good mana fixer. It's overall a good card, just not top 20 material. So, number 23 is Seedborn Muse, because its main feature is that untap all permanents you control during each other player's untap step. So it's really good for instants, and if you have a Vidalcan Ori, then it's really good for just having a little mini turn during someone else's turn. But it's also, but what I think is kind of obvious, the first thing I saw was it's a 2/4, which means it's really good against like those 1/3s. No, not really. I mean, it'll block it, but it's good against the 2/2s, which 1/3s aren't, or the 3/2s. It's a really good. It's not really a really good creature, but its ability puts it over all the other 2/4s I've seen. So number 22 is Gilded Lotus, which might not seem too obvious of a choice, but it's basically a black lotus that you can activate every turn, but it costs 5 mana. Oh well. But the huge thing about the Gilded Lotus is it's only 5 mana, you get 3 mana. It's probably one of the better mana rocks I've seen. It doesn't quite pay for itself on the first turn, but it does on the second. I mean, I realize now that I should have swapped the places of 21st place and this one, because you'll just see. But in general, the Gilded Lotus is a pretty good card. Like, you can put it in any deck and it's good. So the card I put in 21st place, I said this before, but I think I should have put it in 22nd place because it only gives you 1 mana, but it deals 2 damage to any target when it enters the battlefield. It's complicated, but I mean, it is good for getting rid of those like chump blockers that might be in your way, or like 0/2s tokens, 2/2 cats, whatever. I've played against quite a few 2/2 cats. Those things are not fun, but a lot of things can just be solved by 2 damage. Hence why I also put the Seedborn Muse in here, because it's a 2/4. But a lot of things can be solved with 2 damage. If not, who knows? Someone just went from like 20 life to 18. It's overall just a really good card, but I mean, not really good. I put it in all of my decks because it's colorless and it gets you mana, and it's really common to come across during, like, when you're opening Core Set 2021 booster packs, which I've opened over 40. Uh, but we don't have to get how much money I've wasted on Magic. But overall, it's a good card. Number 20, it's the top 20. It's the Sol Ring. It's probably more of a controversial pick than anything, and it's a good card. I like it in all of my decks. It costs $1.50, yet you find it in every pre-constructed commander deck. It's a really good card, and it pays for itself right as you put it in. It can be used on turn 1. I mean, if you have the correct hand, you could put down 2 on turn 1 if you have an Ancient Tomb and 2 Sol Rings. 6 mana turn 1. That's half of a Blightsteel Colossus. But it's just a really good card to have in general. So number 19 is Lightning Bolt. It's a really good card. It's 3 damage to any target. If you thought that Meteorite, oh yeah, 2 damage to any target, that's a shock. 1 red mana. Hey, look, it's a Lightning Bolt. It also costs 1 red mana, but it deals 3 damage to any target. It's a pretty good card. I mean, just think about it. Oh yeah, I could deal 2 damage to any target, or I could deal 3 damage to any target. I mean, if it were up to me, 3 damage, but I don't know. Maybe you want to put some shocks in your deck to even out the mana curve. Oh, wait. It's 1 mana. So number 18, I put in the 18th place rather than swapping it with the Sol Ring, because it's the Mana Crypt, for one. Who doesn't like their fun old Mana Crypt? It's easy to get it. I mean, it's expensive, kind of, $179, but it's a good card. The only downside is it costs 0. I guess that isn't a downside. So I guess the only downside is that maybe it'll deal 3 damage to you. On average, it'll deal 1.5 because probability and everything. But the Ancient Tomb deals 2. Sol Ring costs 1. It's a fair median. Overall, it's a really good card. I actually put it closer on the same ring of Sol Ring. Sol Ring, Lightning Bolt, and Mana Crypt, they're all pretty much on the same level. So number 17 I put as Krosan Grip, because, I mean, split second, it destroy target artifact or enchantment. That's all it says besides the flavor text. But split second, you can't play anything over that. Oh yeah, you can't counter. You can't Teferi's Protection, or whatever that card is called that I did not put it on this list. It's a good card in general, but Ever heard of Disenchant? Yeah, that's a white, and it's one colorless, but this is two colorless and one green. If you're playing a green deck, people might expect it, but it's a good card. It's better than Disenchant because, I mean, they're both instants, but Krosan Grip, that's more memorable. So, number 16, it holds a special place in my heart, is Nicol Bolas Dragon God. However you say it, however you want to say it. It's a good card. It's a literal winning condition. It gets all other loyalty abilities. Oh, you have an Ugin the Spirit Dragon? Mind if I have some of those loyalty abilities and kill you with them while you're upticking? It is. If Nicol Bolas gets to 8 loyalty, chances are you're going to lose. Unless if you have Nicol Bolas, then you're going to win. It's a really good card to have. And what it costs, I don't know, $7.37. I literally just checked it. It's legal in Commander, so I I'd put it in any Nicol Bolas deck I have. It's just a good card. So in 15th place, I put Lightning Greaves because, well, it's Lightning Greaves. If you it's a good card in any deck because it's colorless, equip cost 0. Like, what else do you need? Oh yeah, I have a Blightsteel Colossus that I just put out. Lightning Greaves. That's just killing someone if they don't have a blocker. And if they do, what if it's a chump blocker? 1-1, still Blightsteel Colossus is gonna kill him. Lightning Greaves can go on pretty much anyone and still work amazingly. It's difficult to see why people wouldn't put it in their deck besides it costs $8, or you could just get the Zephyrus of the Hidden Ways commander deck pre-constructed. That costs $40. You get High Market, which is a good card. The Soul Ring, Lightning Greaves. What else do you need? It's a really good card. I don't know what else to say about it besides it's a good card. So, Eldrazi Conscription, number 14. What's not to like about it besides the hefty 8 mana price and the $10 cost for the actual card? But who cares about that? What we're looking at is plus 10 plus 10. Trample, Annihilator 2. I'm sorry, what? 10-10 and Trample. Plus 10 plus 10. Trample. You know, that's kind of a good card. Annihilator 2, put that on an It That Betrays. I mean, It That Betrays already has Annihilator 2. I'm not sure if that stacks. Probably not. But that would be a 21-21 It That Betrays with Trample. If you're able to keep stuff, which you probably won't be because Annihilator 2, it's going to kill you anyway. This thing is just a really good card for any deck. Oh yeah, just slide an Eldrazi Conscription into a white life gain deck. No one's gonna expect. Oh yeah, hi, I have 8 mana. Eldrazi Conscription, die. So no one's gonna expect it. So number 13, Blood Tyrant. It's a really good card. Oh yeah, at the beginning of your upkeep, you put at least 2+1/+1 counters to taking it from a 5/5 Trampler to a 7/7 Trampler to a 9/9 Trampler, or just a lot of counters quickly. It's the key doing it because gets +2/+2 every turn at least. Unless if someone loses the game, then it gets +5/+5. When paired with the door to nothingness, oh yeah, target player loses the game. Blood Tyrant gets 5+1/+1 counters. Next turn, target player loses the game. Blood Tyrant gets another 5+1/+1 counters. Oh no, you Krosan gripped it. I'm gonna attack you with what is it after 2 turns +10/+10. 4 people, 2 turns. It's a lot of counters. So, I mean, I said that no more mana rocks, but Mox Lotus. Mox Lotus. Oh, yeah. Oh, by the way, this is now place number 12. But Mox Lotus. Hey, I want infinite mana. Oh, yeah, sure. Use the Mox Lotus. Sure, it costs 15 and 15 mana, $10, but, you know, it pays itself over infinite. You can cast everything in your hand because, oh yeah, use 100 mana, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. But you have infinite. Any color. You have infinite of every single color ever from one card. No more lands needed. Just tap 15 lands, maybe a few soul rings in there, maybe a few ancient tombs, maybe a few mana crypts, maybe whatever, meteorites. Just huge card. What? So almost at the top 10, almost at the honorable mentions. Place 11, Wrath of God. If you couldn't see that already, because it's a board wipe. I had to put at least one board wipe on here. I said at least, so keep your eyes peeled. But I'm not going to put any black board wipes on here because everyone expects board wipes from black. Like, oh yeah, board wipe here, board wipe there. Yeah, that's just whatever. Black has all the board wipes. Wrath of God, it's a white board wipe. I mean, some people might be expecting it. Oh yeah, life gain, life gain, life gain. Wrath of God, life gain, life gain, life gain. Back on previous card, Eldrazi Conscription, kill people. That's pretty standard for my white decks. So yeah, I mean, it's a good card. Don't want to spend exactly $200 on it, but it's or even 100 for the Amonkhet Invasions one. I'd rather spend what, $5 on it? That's a fair price. And now for some honorable mentions. The first honorable mention is, as you can see, Grim Tutor. It's basically a demonic tutor, but it costs 1 more and you lose 3 life. But, I mean, life really isn't a problem unless if you're at a low life total or someone has a big creature that can kill you in 2 hits. Like something I might mention later. But it's not quite as good as a demonic tutor, but still it's a really good card. It's about $20. It's just a little price point. You can easily open it up in like one of those M21 booster packs. It's a good card. So the second honorable mention is the Platinum Angel because it's the Platinum Angel. You can't lose the game. Your opponents can't win the game. It has flying. If you play this to like a wiped clean board state, like, oh yeah, Wrath of God, and then you just play a Platinum Angel, that's a pretty good spot to be in. Because one, it's a flyer, two, you can't lose the game. It's just a really good card to put in any deck because it's colorless. And you can't lose the game. So next up is the next honorable mention, I should say, is Door to Nothingness. It is probably the best card that on this list because, oh yeah, Grim Tutor, Yeah, you lose 3 life, but you can find a card. You know what? That card could be Door to Nothingness. Oh, Platinum Angel, you can't lose the game. Death by Plummet, or 2 lightning bolts, or even just 2 shocks. Or Chandra's Outrage. There's a whole bunch of ways to deal 4 damage. But Door to Nothingness, target player loses the game. Do I have to say anything besides loses the game? You get to choose who loses the game. So next up is Progenitus. Well, it's Progenitus. Granted, it costs 2 of every color, but that can easily be eliminated with something like Morophon the Boundless, or Morophon the Boundless and the Fist of Suns. That's a really good combo. I'd recommend you use it. But it's it has protection from everything, which means nothing can block it. Nothing can deal damage to it. Nothing can destroy it. But its second ability kind of does more. If if Progenitus would be put into a graveyard, which probably won't be because it can't die from anywhere, reveal Progenitus and shuffle it into its owner's library instead. So it's practically immortal unless if you use Scour from Existence, but that's something that targets it, so it has protection from it. It's just a really good card. So at number 9 is Demonic Tutor. I put Grim Tutor in the honorable mentions that couldn't quite make it into the top 25. So you'd expect Demonic Tutor because it's cheaper to, well, not cheaper than in real world cost, but it's cheaper in the game. It's a colorless and a black, and it doesn't cost you any life to use it. So you'd expect it to be on the list if Grim Tutor was in the honorable mentions, and it is. So I've already explained tutoring and Grim Tutor, but you're just any card, Door to Nothingness. Target player loses the game. I don't know, Black Lotus. That's just a vintage thing, but still, it's a good card. So number 8 is Avacyn, Angel of Hope, because I mean, the only way to destroy Avacyn is with like two things that make you lose indestructible and deal 5 life. It's Soul Seer, I think it is. But that is the only, or Exile. But that can easily just be countered, so can the Soul Seers, but whatever. But it gives everything indestructible, and it has flying and vigilance. But pair up a moment of heroism with it. Wow, that's 10 flying lifelink, vigilance, indestructible. Like, what else do you need? And it also gives other permanents you control indestructible. Like, oh yeah, that Door to Nothingness, now you can't destroy it. Like, what? Excuse me. What? So number 7, All is Dust. Almost said Wrath of God there, because 2 board wipes. I mean, no one expects a board wipe from white. I mean, some people might. But just pull out a colorless board wipe and people are like, what? And granted, it does cost 3 more, but you can use mana of any color, like 5 color deck. This is a really good board wipe to put in there because people will be expecting, oh yeah, Wrath of God, all the blacks, board wipes. I can't name them all. Doomblade, just to eliminate tiny creatures. But then you pull out All is Dust. Granted, probably all of your board dies, but it's not creatures, it's all permanents. So do with that what you will. Most people will only have like a Soul Ring, lands, a door to nothingness. Just some tiny things like ramp. It's insane. Number 6, not quite top 5, is Primordial Hydra. I don't know what to say. Well, I do know what to say. It starts out with X. You only have to pay 1X plus 2 rather than something else that's 2X plus 2. This is only 1X plus 2. And every upkeep, you double X. You double the amount of counters on it. And if you pay like 5, so pay 7 for this, 5, the 5 counters will double to 10, will double to 20. And it's on turn 2 of you having this out, it's gonna have trample if you pay 5. I don't know why this card even exists, because with turn 5, if you pay 5, that goes 5, 10, 20, 40, 80, 160 damage. I mean, there are a whole bunch of things. Oh yeah, destroy target creature with power 4 or greater. Yeah, that's not really a fun thing to play against this, but it is way too powerful for anyone to put in their deck. I mean, no one's going to be expecting this from a mono green deck. So the top 5 has to start with Ugin the Spirit Dragon, because it's really, really, really good card. A plus 2 is a Lightning Bolt. That's a plus 2, not a plus 1, a plus 2. So yeah, you can just immediately ultimate him 3 turns after you get him out. Turns after you get him out, 2. You gain 7 life, draw 7 cards, then put up to 7 permanent cards from your hand onto the battlefield. You can just put out 7 lands if you have 7 lands. And then he's also a board wipe who can get rid of pretty much everything your opponents have turn 1. Just, oh yeah, a -6. Exile all colored permanents. Colored permanents. So Ugin won't die. Exile, which means, oh yeah, indestructible things will die. It's like the best planeswalker out there. So number 4 is Blightsteel Colossus, a pretty much turn 2 instant win scenario. Oh yeah, you have like a Saproling. Oh yeah, that would normally be good against an 11/11 infect, but no, it has trample. I still am having a hard time getting over Blightsteel Colossus's pure power. It's infect, which means no matter how much damage it does, oh yeah, it's gonna kill you. It's indestructible. It's colorless, so it's not gonna be targeted by All Is Dust, because that only destroys, or Ugin the Spirit Dragon, because that exiles all colored permanents. What? Oh my! I do. And even if you do put it in a graveyard, it just goes back into your library. That is way too insane. Number 3 is Time Walk, because Time Walk. It's just a colorless and a blue for an extra turn. It's so powerful that it is. Here, let me get out the list. It's not legal in Standard, not legal in Pioneer, not legal in Modern, banned in Legacy, banned in Commander, not legal in Alchemy or Brawl, historic or pauper or penny, but it is restricted in vintage. These are the exact same stats as the Black Lotus because it's a colorless into blue, and you just get an extra turn. That Karn's Temporal Sundering costs more. Granted, it does do like a little bit more, but it's a legendary sorcery. This is just a 1 in a blue, take an extra turn. Oh my gosh. So, another honorable mention. It's not on my honorable mentions list. It is probably the most powerful planeswalker ever. But it's not legal in anything. So, whatever. But it has every single loyalty ability of every other planeswalker. If you didn't see, or if you're not seeing already, it's Urza Academy Headmaster. And it's a random thing. All you need is internet access for this thing to work. And this thing will just win you the game. Like, I once got -6 of you gain 100 life. You gain 100 life. That's a Johnny from Journey into Nyx, if you're wondering. But you gain 100 life. And that's probably not even the best one. It has Ugin the Spirit's Dragon, all of his abilities. It has everything. This is like the craziest planeswalker I've ever seen. And I just saw it yesterday. I made this list like a week ago, but I saw it yesterday. And it is my top 10 favorite cards. It is just that. So the number 2 spot I gave to the Black Lotus because, well, I mean, it's the Black Lotus. It's the perfect mana corrector. I already explained this in Blacker Lotus, but it's the perfect mana corrector. You just get, oh yeah, 3 mana of any color. Of any one color. Granted, Gilded Lotus can do this every turn. Mox Lotus can give you infinite, but none of them besides Blacker Lotus cost 0. Cost 0 mana. Well, 0 mana, not 0 money, because this costs about $15,000. But it is what most people would say as the most powerful card in Magic, but I think that there's one better. The number 1 spot is Emrakul the Aeon's Torn. The first text on this, the spell can't be countered. Oh yeah, if you have a cancel, no, that doesn't work on this. Even if you did have a cancel, its third ability, well, fourth, protection from colored spells, would stop it right away. When you cast this spell, take an extra turn after this one. So Time Walk is included in this. So let's say if you didn't take an extra turn, the Time Walk would be excluded, whatever. I have no idea what I was just saying there. But this thing, despite its hefty mana price, it is well worth it because the spell can't be countered. You get an extra turn. It has flying. It has protection from colored things. So even if you have something like an Avacyn Angel of Hope, this is not going to be affected by Avacyn. This is not going to be affected by Ugin because Ugin says colored. This is not the all I can think of that can possibly affect this is Scour from Existence. And I don't know if even that can stop it. But this card I didn't even get to the last text. When Emrakul the Aeon's Torn is put into a graveyard from anywhere, its owner shuffles their graveyard into their library. So, if you even find a way to put it into the graveyard, the entire graveyard is going back into the library. The entire graveyard. Luckily, this is banned in Commander, or else, yeah, there might be a bit more Emrakul decks. Just ramp, put Emrakul on, you just won. Oh my gosh, I've been ranting for 2.5 minutes on just this one card, but it is the best card in Magic. I don't know what else to say besides this is the best card. It is just the best. For anyone who's still around after the over 30-minute video, thanks for watching the entire thing. I hope you like and subscribe, because this is a new channel, and it really, really, really helps me out. But it's I loved making this video, and even if I don't get even one subscriber off of it, it's a really good... I just loved making this video, so you don't have to like and subscribe, though it is highly recommended. And if you do, you don't even have to put notifications on. And even if you do, you probably won't get that many, because I don't post anything. If you have seen the upload consistency on my previous channel, which I might link in the description. So, bye.